Sunday match.
The Sunday match is on the road again. We're at Kenilworth Road. It's a lovely still afternoon for Luton against Charlton Athletic, and the kickoff is at 2:55. Hello, good afternoon. We had an absolutely thrilling London derby last Sunday at Selhurst Park. Millwall just about edged it, and as we speak this afternoon, Millwall sit on top of the First Division. Our congratulations to everybody at the New Den, and you can see how they got there in our goals roundup at round about 10-5. Follow that, though, is the message to this afternoon's teams, Luton and Charlton Athletic.
David Pleat was Mr. Luton Town. Now he's gone. Terry Wesley, the 35-year-old former youth team coach, is learning football management the hard way. Luton are still keeping faith with the pass and move style that produces attractive matches, but they've been unable to discover the winning formula. Luton's always been a friendly and ambitious club, but plans for a new ground under cover in the Kohler Dome have been swamped by red tape. Frustrated by the lack of support, Chairman David Kohler's put the club up for sale. But this afternoon, Luton are boosted by a superb win at Ipswich. David Oldfield's been under fire from the fans, but his goal lifted Luton off the bottom. Terry Wesley praised his team's commitment and nerve. It's a very special result for him, beating Ipswich, where he spent 4 years as community officer. At Charlton, Alan Curbishley is now sole governor. The double act with Steve Gritt is over. Week in, week out, Curbishley selects the youngest team in the division. And so far, the teenagers, notably Lee Bowyer, are justifying his confidence. Kenilworth Road isn't a lucky ground for Charlton, but they'll attack all right. Playing away holds no fears. Remember the 5 at Selhurst Park that softened up Wimbledon in the Coca-Cola Cup. For years, Charlton froze in front of our cameras till Gary Nelson broke the TV jinx.
Nelson's still got the chance to play himself in and drive in a goal. Gary Nelson for Charlton Athletic.
And the old Admiral Nelson is in the Charlton lineup again today. As our guest this afternoon, delighted to welcome Gavin Peake, Chelsea's club captain. Welcome, Gavin. All Chelsea fans will want to know how you are, because you missed the game at Blackburn yesterday.
Yeah, I'm having an injection in my heel. I've been playing with an injury for a couple of months now, and I'll be getting that sorted out hopefully next week.
Now, we spoke there about the young Charlton players. Your dad's had something to do with that, hasn't he?
Yes, I think there's about sort of 5 or 6 of them have come through his reserve side, and we're only playing there last season. And it's tremendous for a club like Charlton that bringing the youngsters through like that, and the coaching staff who nurture them along the way.
Right, I tell you what, we're so close to the pitch. I think we might be chucking a few back when they have throw-ins here. It's a lovely setting. The teams are there, and it should be a decent game for us this afternoon.
Definitely, I think Charlton are on a high. Luton needs points, and with the manager there, they'll be out today.
Right. Okay, Gavin, thanks very much indeed. Well, we saw there how much that win at Ipswich meant to Luton manager Terry Wesley. His team short of goals here and short of points as well. Let's have a word with Terry, speaking for the first time to us on the Sunday match. He's with Matt Lorenz.
Terry, last week you ran across the pitch after that victory. Was that an indication of the pressure that's been on your shoulders of late?
I think the emotion of winning and not really the pressure. The one thing I've told everybody was the look in the players' faces was the bit what really got to me. Seeing Trevor Peake with that look in his eyes and the smile. And if someone cares that much at his age, when he's done everything in the game, this shows you that the players are 100% behind you and they really want to take this club forward, and that's the bit what really touched me.
Well, if you're going to win back-to-back, you've done the hard part because you've won the away game.
I wouldn't say that. It's very difficult to win your home games when people come here and get men behind the ball. And I consider these are one of the best teams I've seen this season. I think Charlton are well organised. play a real solid 4-4-2, and will make it very difficult for us and try to counter-attack us, and they've got players in their side who can score goals. I think this is a difficult match.
Well, in today's programme, you're celebrating last week's win. At the same time, your chairman is putting the club up for sale. How difficult is it for a manager when all that's going on?
I don't really think you look at that. I've been asked that question many times already. I don't even know if the players realise the club's up for sale, because they don't listen to news reports and papers. They're interested in winning football matches. And we've been away today at a hotel and had a proper pre-match, and we've stressed to them the importance of this game. We feel we're top 10 team. We're not a bottom side, and we've played well in recent weeks, and the worst we've played was last week. We didn't play particularly well at Ipswich, but we grind out a victory. We want to turn on a good performance here. Oakes is getting fitter, and he could be a real packet for him today. I think Oakes is a key man in today's match.
Terry, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
Scott Oakes, I think Sheffield Wednesday offered over £1 million for him in the week. But Gavin, he's talking there about players not being affected by disturbances behind the scenes. Is that right? Can you not be affected when your club's up for sale?
Well, I think players are used to uncertainty. You know, they don't know where they're going to be, one season to the next sometimes. And so they try to be as professional as they can and put it to the back of their mind. We had a situation when I was at Newcastle when the chairmanship changed and the players were trying to battle against relegation, and we managed to do it. But sometimes the vibes do come through to the players and they feel a bit of pressure on the pitch.
Certain amount of sympathy for Terry there. I mean, David Pleat was an institution here. He's only been here a few months. Things haven't gone particularly well for him. It's a heck of a hard baptism to football management.
Oh, of course, but I think maybe anywhere you go it'll be the same thing. I mean, he's got a nice club like Luton. I think he's got some good players in the side, and it'll be a challenge for him to turn it all around.
Good, OK, Gavin. Well, after the break, we're going to have a special profile on Carl Leaburn. Leaburn, the big Charlton striker, who's having his best ever start to a season. Back with that shortly.
Right, we've got your cement, we've got your forward tools, we've got your screws, we got... do you want to deliver it? Yes, please.
Yellow Pages, supporters of the Sunday match.
Hello once again from the Sunday match, coming to you live from Kenilworth Road. It's Luton against Charlton, and over the years Charlton really have a great record of producing young players. The present team of exciting youngsters is a logical extension of the policy that's produced the likes of Robert Lee and Scott Minto. Big Carl Leaburn is almost a father figure, and Carl's just 26.
Charlton's youngsters and homegrown players have been making the headlines all season. Carl Leaburn joined them 10 years ago as a 16-year-old. 2 weeks ago at Leicester, he celebrated his 50th goal for the club. It's taken Carl 275 games to reach his 50. Not prolific for a striker, but perhaps it's not just goals that count.
My game at Charlton is more than just scoring goals. You know, you get some strikers that primarily just score goals, but as I say, I think I bring players into play a lot of the time, and generally work outside the box quite well. But I'm adding goals to my game now, which I think is due to Les Reed coming in the team and getting onto our wide players to get their crosses in, and just taking a bit more responsibility so I can do my stuff in the box as well.
Leaburn had to learn his trade at the highest level, playing for a struggling team. Goals were scarce for a young man who didn't even see himself as a striker in those early days.
At that time, the youth team manager was Tommy Taylor. Came down as a midfield player, and somebody got injured up front. Played up front, and I scored a goal, and they played me up there ever since, really.
Injuries apart, and he's had his fair share of those, Leaburn's led the line for Charlton for the last 8 years. He's had to adjust to a variety of striking partners alongside him. It hasn't been easy.
Whoever comes in, whatever striker, I think it's all a learning experience for me to adapt to whoever I'm playing with. And if you're good enough to do that, you know, it all adds to your wealth of experience and your playing skills. Played with Garth Cooks, who is a big influence on my football. You know, I know him socially, and he's always talking to me about the game and what things I have to do. You know, I might want to get involved, but at the end of the day, I'm a striker, and I've got to do my initial touch and then get in the box. So, you know, I'm always having debates with him. Like any player, they want to get in the Premier League. I'm, very ambitious at that. I want to get in the Premier League and basically pit my wits against the best. If it be with Charlton, good enough, you know. But primarily, I want to get in that Premier League, just like any other player should want to get in there. If I get my chances, I'll score my fair share of goals. You know, I'll be like any other striker. I'll miss some and I'll score some. Get them wingers to get some crosses in. Hopefully, I'll get a goal or two.
Every striker's wish for the wingers to get the crosses in. Well, Gavin Peacock, you know the fella pretty well. He's gets a lot of stick, doesn't he? But what a job he does for Charlton.
Brilliant. He's one of the best target men around, I would say, in the Premier League and the First Division. And I think top clubs have looked at Carl for a few years now, and they've wondered maybe does he get enough goals. But I think he gets enough goals, but he makes so many. He's never going to be prolific, but whoever's playing alongside him is going to get a lot of goals. Take David White last season, for instance.
Because of your dad's connection, I think you do a bit of pre-season training with Charlton, don't you?
A couple of years ago I did, and I was privileged to play with Carl then and see him up close. And as I say, if I was a striker, I'd love to play up front with him.
You say he hasn't had the recognition he deserves. I think one of the reasons that I can see, he's never afraid to miss, is he? He gets in there and has a go, and one or two things don't work out for him, and the fans get on his back. Yeah,
you've got to be like that as a striker. I mean, you can't be afraid to miss. And Carlo is putting himself about. He's always willing to receive the ball anywhere on the pitch, and of course you put yourself up to get stick if it doesn't come off. But it's coming off for him this season, and I think he's got 7 goals already, so he's flying.
He mentioned right at the end there the importance of the wingers getting the ball in for him, and that's quite an important aspect of Charlton's whole game, isn't
Definitely. They get a lot of crosses in, they pepper the box with crosses, and even if Carl's not getting on the end of it, it might drop down and the likes of Bowyer's coming in to finish it off from midfield. So it stresses the importance of crossing in football at any level.
In general terms, what are your thoughts about this afternoon's game? Because after that win at Ipswich, Luton will be very keen to turn it on here in front of their own fans.
Definitely, and Charlton haven't sort of had a win for a few games, so they're due a win, and Luton are due something in front of their own fans. It'll be a tough contest. I've got to say that I fancy Charlton on current form now.
Well, you'd have to say that. You never look your dad in the face again, would you?
Yeah, that's right.
Just quickly, I mean, I know you're injured, and every injured player can't wait to play it. It's the sort of day, the sort of surface that you'd love to play in.
It's beautiful, and all the pitches at the moment are in great condition because we've had good weather. So, I mean, you can't ask for any more.
OK, thanks, Gavin. Well, our commentators this afternoon are the Barnet boss, Ray Clements. And there's only one Brian Moore. He's with us up there on the TV gantry, and we'll be joining them straight after the break. The Sunday match is live at Kenilworth Road. Luton and Charlton are all set to go. Let's join our commentary team. Ray Clements, the Barnet manager, and first of all, a very good afternoon to Brian Moore.
Jim, very good afternoon to you and to everybody. As you were saying, perfect conditions, crisp sunshine, good pitch. Let's take a check on the two teams for this Ensley First Division game this afternoon. Starting with Luton, who signed the Norwegian striker Vidar Riseth, but he remains on the subs bench today as manager Terry Wesley sticks to the side that got Luton off the bottom with that victory at Ipswich. The side steadied always, of course, by Trevor Peake in defence, Kerry Hughes and Scott Oakes, the real live wires in midfield. David Oldfield scored that winner at Ipswich. Charlton, incidentally, also unchanged. An attractive mixture here of youngsters up through the ranks and seasoned, sensible senior pros. John Humphrey, for one, today making his 250th Charlton appearance. Colin Walsh in his testimonial year. And Gary Nelson's another one, newly turned author, of course, but remaining very much a key attacking member of the side. And learning from all this, without a doubt, is a very talented 18-year-old Lee Bowyer. His impressive work in midfield and his 9 goals so far have made him just about the hottest property outside the Premiership. Our referee today is John Kirkby from Sheffield. As I said, my co-commentators Ray Clements. Charlton, of course, beat your side, Barnet, in the Coca-Cola Cup, but they impressed you in doing so.
Yes, they certainly did in the second leg at the Valley. They were very, very impressive. They love to pass the ball around, and as I say, in Lee Bowyer, they do have a very talented midfield player. I first started to see him play at the beginning of the season. He was playing wide on the right-hand side, but since he's moved into a central midfield position, he's never looked back. He breaks forward, he gets shots on target. I mean, for a midfield man, he's scored, you know, a fair number of goals already this season, and he's obviously attracting a lot of attention.
Carl Leaburn also probably having his best start to the season so far. He scored 7 times and got the first hat-trick of his career in a fantastic 5-1 victory at Ipswich. But also on the field today, probably just about the tallest goalkeeper in the land in the Luton goal, an American, Ian Feuer, who's on the 2nd month of a loan from West Ham at 6'7", and comes from California, but has played in Belgium, played with FC Bruges, and is spotted out there. Harry Redknapp's taken him, and as I say, he's on the 2nd year of a loan. Have you seen much of him, Ray?
Yes, I've seen a little bit of him. He was on loan also at Peterborough for a while as well, and certainly, you know, the size is impressive to start off with, and he deals with crosses well, and for a big goalkeeper, he also gets down quite well to low shots as well. But when you've got somebody that size, it does give you a tremendous advantage if people start throwing crosses into the box.
They're going to cross over. Scott Oakes, who's had some problems with injury, but he's really another talented midfielder. We're talking about Lee Bowyer, but Sheffield Wednesday's David Pleat reported to come in with a bid of £1.3 million for him this week. Luton, as clubs do these days, so we'll double it, and we might think. And it's going to be Charlton who kick off, who believe they're playing well enough to thrust upwards towards the leaders. They've lost only 3 of 18 League and Cup games this season, but they've drawn 5 of their last 8, I think it is. So there've been quite a few points dropped there. But if the men in red win today, they could, depending on results elsewhere today, they could in fact go up as high as 6th place. Sean Newton with the throw for Charlton. Getting off Marvin Johnson, and it'll be another throw. Luton, as we say, have been on the bottom. That victory was such a good psychological boost for them last week at Ipswich. Good work here by Humphrey. Leaburn gets up well, as you would expect. Newton very nearly gets in there. In the end, the ball safely through to Ian Feuer. Playing it wide towards Robson, Barry Nelson chasing. Terry Wesley, the new Ipswich manager, here he is. I must say, Ray and I were saying before the game how impressed we were, the interview that we gave with Matthew just before the start. He seemed very, very positive and really upfront in the things he was saying.
Yes, certainly. I mean, it's a big challenge for him this year. You know, I've spoken to him a couple of times on different things, and he's found it a little bit more, obviously a lot different from the youth job that he had before, and some of the aspects he's found a little bit difficult, but he's coping with it very, very well, and very honestly.
Trevor Peake going in. This is Steve Davis. Hit towards Dwight Marshall, and Oldfield with a shot that's well wide of the Charlton goal. It's a goal. Oldfield, Australian lad, we've seen him a few times, of course. This is his 2nd spell at Luton, 6 years between them, and between that spell in between, he played with distinction for Manchester City and for Leicester City. So Mike Salmon with the goal kick for Charlton Athletic. Goes Peake, goes it in the air. Helped by Kerry Hughes. Walsh. Oldfield, just beating off the challenge of Jamie Stuart. Rufus riding the ball back to Salmon. Newton. the back heel, but Walsh read that better than anybody in a Luton shirt. Hughes with a header, won by Stuart, another of these Charlton youngsters. And here's Colin Walsh. Nelson's away outside him. Will he try? Just a real trio of vets there, actually. Colin Walsh trying to play the ball to Gary Nelson, and the interception coming from Trevor Peake, who's certainly the oldest on the field at 38. Walshy, he's, let me see, what is he? He's 33. Humphrey. Waddock with the header. Up goes Rufus, wins it quite comfortably. Waddock pumping it forward again. Humphrey backpedaling under pressure from Dwight Marshall, but sees him off very well indeed. Throw to Charlton. Down by Robson. Stuart will need to get back. Keeper's out and has found Gary Nelson. Inside for Robson. Down the line for Nelson. It's a long cross in here, which Harvey should gather on the far side. Under pressure though from Sean Newton. With his header. Bowyer also getting in, a good leap. Johnson gets it clear to Newton. And Harvey brings that away. Waddock throwing it around nicely in this spell, Luton. Oldfield played on nicely this time. Now can Oldfield get there first? He can, and the cross is in, but Rufus positioned himself well and made the clearance.
I'll be disappointed there, David Oldfield, because it was certainly a good opportunity to get a good cross into the box with Dwight Marshall arriving late, but unfortunately scuffed it, didn't he? You can see he's annoyed with himself there as he's walking away.
Well, this is the moment, Ray, as you were saying. Scuffed it, and it was easy for Rufus. Leaburn beaten in the air by Davis. Humphrey. Newton. Johnson's clearance. Rufus again and again, gets it up to Leaburn, takes it nicely on his body this time, trying to find Sean Newton. Bowyer. Phil Chapple. Rufus. Not a great deal of Charlton support here. In fact, behind the Luton goal at the moment. As you can see, I don't know whether there are concessions here for visiting fans. It's none of my business if there is or not. What I know actually is that Charlton next week for their match against Sunderland at the Valley, which again is one you'll be able to see live. Everybody, I gather, in at half price. Adults £7, children at £3. I think you do have to start taking those sort of initiatives, don't you, Ray, to get the people in Charlton initiated something last season. Children in for £1.
Yes, certainly you do, to attract the supporters these days. You've got to make concessions. in different areas, certainly for the old age pensioners, for the youngsters, for families, any sort of group that you can get in to be your future support has got to be to your advantage.
Well, it'll be a good crowd at the Valley next week for us as well, and a very important game, Charlton against Sunderland, next Sunday afternoon. Now we're with this one, it's still 0-0 with a throw to Luton Town. It was a corner. Here's Trevor Peake. First to react was Rufus. Peake getting back. Under pressure from Robinson. Turns him beautifully. Then hits it straight at Walsh. Now Robinson. Turning. Hits Oldfield with it. Peake, a little touch to Waddock rather. Waddock knocking it forward. Loose for Rufus. Now Bowyer. Humphrey. Towards Leaburn. Waddock finding Harvey. Humphrey's throw for Charlton Athletic. Leaburn to Newton. Goal kick. Looking at Trevor Peake there, he still looks very, very sure in defence, the Luton Town number 2. I was talking to him before the game. I said, I may well be the oldest football commentator, but are you the oldest first-class pro at 38? He says, no, Ray Wilkins is 39. So,
and of course, Ray Wilkins played yesterday.
That's right.
That's right.
Lever, that's well taken by young Sean Newton. Also some good defending by Marvin Johnson. Chested down nicely by Dwight Marshall. Here's Scott Oakes now. A little ball through for Marshall to chase. Rufus is with him. And now the ball knocked in and banged away well. It was Alexander getting well wide on that right-hand side. And Charlton had to be at their most alert to get that one away. But an excellent ball through in the first place from Scott Oakes.
It certainly was, and he waited and waited until Dwight Marshall made that run before he released the ball, and he just released it perfectly.
So a corner to Luton. Not a very well taken one. Walsh gets it clear. Peake, Waddock. This is Jamie Stuart. Hughes. Bowyer. He's giving it away this time. Harvey, no, there was a foul on Bowyer.
There's any dispute in there as the Dwight Marshall used his body right across Lee Bowyer there, and quite rightly the referee gave the free kick.
Phil Chapple with it. Trevor Peake pushing down on Carl Leaburn. A free kick to Charlton Athletic. John Robinson sent off last week. This is the game against Sunderland next week. I think it's a one-match ban. Rufus has come up from the back. Leaburn obviously is going to be one of the targets. Good safe catch though by Ian Feuer.
That's what I mean, when you've got a 6'7" goalkeeper, you put balls in like that, it's meat and drink to him. He'll come and take those all day.
Harvey hitting it long. Marshall trying to get in. That was an excellent piece of defending by Rufus.
Well, that's the type of ball they've been trying to get Dwight Marshall in behind Charlton's back four all the game so far. It's obviously a ploy of them. He is extremely quick, and certainly a player that they feel can get the other side of the Charlton back four.
Marshall, Jamaican-born lad, played for Plymouth Argyle before he came up here to Luton. Trevor Peake. Leaburn, let it run. Davis gets it clear. Oldfield finds Waddock. Another break. Hughes making it. Surrounded by red shirts though. Bowyer just poking it wide, but Robson couldn't pick it up, but at least he got it away into touch. Kerry Hughes. Done really well here. Now what sort of cross? Oldfield knocking it back for Waddock, who in fact clipped Harvey on the heels. And John Humphrey will get it away. Up towards Gary Nelson. Possession, but he couldn't quite keep that in, could Alexander. It'll be a throw to Charlton Athletic. Quarter of an hour gone, 0-0. Leaburn. Walsh, lead on offside. Steve Davis, originally with Burnley, looking for Scott Oakes. He wasn't happy with the treatment he got from Jamie Stuart. Waddock gets it back to Marvin Johnson. It's a good ball for Oakes. Might get a shot in here, no. Waddock tries from another angle now. Played in by Alexander again. Alexander pumping a driven cross in there, which Chapple gets away. Leaburn's chest to Walsh, and a good break here by Gary Nelson. Can Nelson get there first? Nelson is going to score for Charlton Athletic. Well, he hadn't scored since the third game of the season. But he took full advantage of that with an extremely well-timed run. And then faced with Feuer, got the better of the bounce.
It's a great ball from Colin Walsh, wasn't it, in the first place? But Feuer just hesitates a little bit. We can't see him in the picture there, but he just hesitated as Gary Nelson came through, and that allowed Gary Nelson to be favourite to get to the ball. I think if Feuer had come out full pelt in the first time, he would have got to that ball.
Which in fact is a good cue for me to tell you about Gary Nelson turned author. He's just had published a book called Left Foot Forward. And I must say, it's a diary, as he puts it, of a journeyman footballer. Here we see it again.
Yes, you just saw there as Gary Nelson was going on to, you just saw that hesitation of him there, which just allowed Gary that half a yard to nick the ball past him.
Let me just tell you again about his book, then, before we see another slow-mo of it. I mean, I don't know whether you've read it. I've got it, and it's a very good read indeed. The inner workings of a football club and how it affects, as he puts it himself, a journeyman footballer. Left Foot Forward, it's called. Sean Newton. Humphrey, chested down by Nelson, cleared by Waddock. Here's Scott Oakes. Dwight Marshall with David Oldfield in the middle. Here's Oldfield, he's let it run. Oh, and against the crossbar from Oakes. They were desperately unlucky there, but a game that now has really opened up. Charlton ahead, and a crossbar denying Luton Town that equaliser from Scott Oakes. And a good move it was too.
It certainly was, and David Oldfield did well there. We see Dwight Marshall on the ball, and he's got the confidence to take on his defender there. Looks up, sees David Oldfield there, and he must have had a very good shout there from Scott Oakes, because he just stepped out the way. And Scott Oakes, as he has done so far in this game, he's had a very impressive start to the game for me, Scott Oakes, and he was very unfortunate there not to equalise for Luton.
Peake. Stuart getting back, pursued by Marshall. Salmon. Certainly wrong-footed Dwight Marshall. Jamie Stuart again for Charlton. Robinson's away. A sputtery old start to the season, Charlton, but I think they felt, it's a foul surely, yes, by Sean Newton, that things are beginning to turn their way a little bit now. They were delighted with their draw up at Wolverhampton in the Coca-Cola Cup on Wednesday, which brings a replay to the Valley. But now they've got work on their hands again as Scott Oakes plays it in. Salmon down again. Well, we've got the makings of a good game here.
I would imagine that Terry Weston will just be a little bit disappointed that they've got in some good wide positions in this first half, Luton, and here we see another one developing. And just the quality of the final ball into the box to give strikers a chance of getting on the end of it has not been as I'm sure the manager will want.
Salmon, the Charlton fans will tell you, he's been having an outstanding season. Davis hit long towards Oldfield.
This obviously be a big test now for Luton. Things haven't been going right for them, and now to go a goal down so early in the game, they've got to keep believing in themselves and keep creating the opportunities from wide positions that they have done.
With the throw, Bowyer. Caught Humphrey just for the moment on the wrong foot. Newton. Nelson playing it wide to Humphrey. Went through that challenge well. Will he go through that one? It's a free kick. Oakes playing it back to Peake. Waddock again. Oakes once more. Cut out this time by Robinson. Walsh playing it wide for Nelson. Walsh again. Came off Jamie Stuart. Fell for Bowyer. Quickly knocked by Chapple. And once again they've sprung the offside trap, but Feuer is there to knock it away. First half, Charlton leading by Gary Nelson's goal. Stuart with a throw. Here's Waddock. It's it through to Oldfield. Marshall's gone up ahead. Davis sweeping it wide to Harvey. Marshall. Robson battling and winning. Waddock then puts it back, and it'll be a goal kick to Charlton, I think. Johnson has scored for Norwich to put them a goal up against Tranmere Rovers at Carrow Road today. Yeah, Charlton leading 1-0. And Port Vale 0, Birmingham City 1. Paul Tate has scored for the Blues. Touch by Nelson, knocked away by Johnson. Chapple backpedaling, being told by Rufus to play it back, but Chapple has other ideas. Hits a long ball, but Marvin Johnson's on the end of that. Here's John Humphrey now for Charlton. Nelson. To be fair, Gary Nelson timed that run beautifully, didn't he, for the goal? And when you think it was a touch of the vets because it was Colin Walsh's beautiful ball through.
That's right, it was a nice diagonal run. You could see right along the back three that Luton are playing with, and timed it to perfection. There's no way that anybody in a Luton shirt was going to catch him. Their only hope was could the keeper get out to him, and we've already discussed why that didn't happen.
Walsh had something like 7 seasons with Brian Clough at Nottingham Forest, and he's had quite a few good ones down at the Valley since then. Nelson. Stuart. Stuart. Newton up to Leaburn. Followed by Bowyer on Waddock. Free kick taken, not exactly from the right spot. Alexander playing it forward to Dwight Marshall. Alan Curbishley, the Charlton manager, certainly believes in giving his talented youngsters a real chance. 4 of them in the side today, in fact. Stuart, Rufus, Newton and Bowyer are all 20 and under. When you add Carl Leaburn to that, who came up through the ranks, and 2 of the subs, Kim Grant and Dean Chandler, also came up through the ranks at Charlton. It's a part of the club they've got absolutely right. Mind you, they've got some wonderful training facilities and good coaches at that youth level. I noticed actually in the program as well, Ray Clements, Terry Wesley was saying how important it is for clubs of this stature actually to bring on their youngsters. They are very certainly aware of it here at Luton too.
Oh, that's a shadow of a doubt. And you say Charlton seem to have got it exactly right. Good training facilities, good coaches, the opportunity to bring the youngsters through into the first team. They've got a super stadium now, and they really are set up. And also, they haven't had to sell anybody for some considerable time as well.
Leaburn playing it through. Gary Nelson's there, but the whistle had gone. No, they haven't sold anybody for a year, Alan Curbishley is telling me. Mind you, I don't think they've been able to buy anybody for a year either, but they're getting it right.
I mean, Luton are playing a very dangerous game here with this offside. The line that they're trying to hold, you know, they've lost one goal by it, and on 2 or 3 occasions it's only been borderline decisions that stopped Charlton players having other clear-cut opportunities as well.
It's going to be a Luton Town throw, coming towards the half-hour mark. Oakes to Waddock. Now to Peake, forward to Dwight Marshall. This is Graham Alexander. Richard Harvey, number 11 for Luton Town. Humphrey. Hughes cutting it out. Up towards Peake. Oakes. Marshall down, head down and charging. Salmon came out, and he thought that he was outside the box. He knew he dare not touch it, and the referee was right on hand. The crowd thought for a moment he was going to touch it, and that could have been an absolute disaster for him. But he was quick-witted enough not to do it, but the danger's not yet over. Now it might be. What about that, Ray?
He really was very lucky, because here we see, if he comes to try and punch it, doesn't make good contact. Now he's lost his bearings, he's going to catch it, and thankfully, just as he goes down and put his hands on it, he realises he is outside the box and manages to scramble it away.
It's Davis. Then Peake gets it back to Johnson. Back in turn to Ian Feuer. Rufus with a header. And run by Harvey. Marshall. Turns beautifully there. Rufus in. Finds Walsh. Humphrey's driven clearance. Walsh. Oldfield to Hughes. Chapple with the header. Kerry Hughes. Stopped by Chapple. Bowyer, the simple ball to Newton. Davis. Oldfield chasing this one again. Rufus. Climbing well. A real prospect there, isn't there?
Yeah, he's done very, very well so far this half. Nothing's got past, and there's been a couple of really well-timed tackles when there looked to be danger for Charlton. He's cleared it up, and a couple of very important headers he's won as well, and it's looked like Luton are going to be in there with a chance. But so he's done extremely well so far this first half.
I don't have to tell you that a fair number of the Premiership scouts have been looking in his direction. Salmon get there? No, it was Robinson right back there, and then Trevor Peake. It's a goal kick.
He's having the right smile there because he's probably going through his mind. It's a long time since he's actually scored from that sort of position, I would think.
I think so. It's a long time since he's scored from any position. I was trying to look him up. He did win a Cup Winners' Medal, of course, in '87 for Coventry City against the club you know well enough, Raymond.
Yes,
Hotspur.
Very nice of you to remind me of that, yes.
Actually playing it forward. Nelson getting in behind. Leaburn's gone into the middle, but Johnson hasn't let an awful lot go past him down that flank this afternoon. It's Humphrey, Chapple. Rufus again, Humphrey. Bowyer's down, he's taken a knock. Challenge, I think possibly with Kerry Hughes. He's had one of those games so far where he seems to have been chasing it all the time, Bowyer, and can't really actually make a contact with it.
No, he's the one in the middle of the field who tries to break. Colin Walsh will sit there and try and pass it around. He's always trying to join the front and link up with the front, and unfortunately the front haven't held it up enough for him to actually get there and join them at the moment.
Early touch by Chapple, enabled Stuart to get in. Now Bowyer plays the little ball through to Leaburn. Back again for Bowyer. Hits long and precisely there for Stuart to chase. And I think the linesman, who's out of my vision, has given the free kick to Luton Town.
Those are the sort of silly free kicks that managers and coaches go mad about, because Luton are under pressure, they're in their own corner flag, they've got a problem to get it out, and Jamie Stuart there has just fouled it, tumbled into the back of him, released the pressure, and now Luton can get out of their own half, whereas before they had a problem.
Walsh, Leaburn, Bowyer. For a throw with 10 minutes of this first half remaining. Phil Chapple. Hughes failing to make a contact there. Bowyer just poking it on, and Feuer quickly spotting it that occasion, and didn't halt in his stride at all as Nelson came towards him. It was towards Nelson, but the pass for Bowyer was not nearly accurate enough. Throw to Luton. Humphrey gets it back. Goes Leaburn. Came off Jamie Stuart. Here's Rufus, and then Bowyer playing it wide for Humphrey. Leaburn, through the legs of Waddock. Walsh now to Robson. Tried to get it back to Jamie Stuart. Header, cut out by Chapple. Colin Walsh. Chipped back, or nodded back rather, by Peake. Now Davis. Harvey.
Richard Harvey coming down that left-hand side there was calling Oldfield all the names under the sun. He was totally open, and all David had to do was roll the ball into his path and he'd be running straight into the box, but tried the difficult ball and gave it away again, unfortunately.
Bowyer beaten in the air by Hughes. Charlton throw. Leaburn using his strength to get the ball back to Walsh, but both Newton and Nelson offside. Oaks. Johnson. Played for Harvey. Now for Hughes. Newton's getting back at him and does enough. Bowyer then plays it short. Humphrey. Charlton's throw, it came off Steve Davis. Coming to the last 5 minutes then of the first half. Leaburn. Now Scott Oakes. Bowyer's getting back at him. Oakes tries to hold him off, but the pass to Oldfield wasn't accurate enough, and it's Bowyer in possession again. Took the challenge from Gary Waddock there. He doesn't look much of him, but he's obviously a strong young man, an 18-year-old. He's got a bit of a knock. Under 41 minutes played, Ray. What do you think of it so far?
Well, I think that Charlton really have been very comfortable in this first half. Only on isolated occasions have Luton got into good wide positions to get crosses into the box, and then their crosses haven't been of the quality I'm sure their manager would like. And the worrying thing from Luton's point of view is they're already a goal down, obviously, but there's been 2 or 3 occasions, I say, where the way that their back three have held the line at times, I would think that Alan Curbishley will be talking at half-time about ways they can actually break their offside trap, because at times it is very dangerous the way they play it.
Here's Oakes. Giving it away. Walsh can't keep it, but he's got some support from Gary Nelson. Humphrey hitting it forward towards Leaburn. Goal kick.
You know, since they've gone a goal down, Luton, you can see the confidence has drained from them since that opening 20 minutes. It was opening 20 minutes when they put 1 or 2 moves together, but since then they've given it away needlessly and not under pressure at times. And really, Scott Oakes has threatened 1 or 2 things, and Dwight Marshall's pace up the front is always going to be a problem to sides if he gets the right service. But apart from that, really, they haven't really created anything.
Well, just the one Scott Oakes shot against the crossbar. They needed that desperately to go in, didn't they? To bring it back to 1-1.
And it would have been an ideal time. It was virtually straight after they'd gone 1-0 down.
In the meantime, it's Leaburn in the red of Charlton. Back for Humphrey. Chipped in towards Robson, who's made a good run. Alexander's gone with him, and it'll be a throw, or rather a corner for Charlton Athletic. With Rufus and Chapple forward for this. Walsh will take it. Walsh's corner. Chapple with a header, but entirely in the wrong direction. Goal kick.
Made good contact with it here, didn't he? Comes off that 6-yard line, really good contact, just couldn't get the direction. Needed to skim it across this far corner where there was no defender on the line.
The keeper to come, and the keeper's there. Alexander, number 7, signed from Scunthorpe. Rufus gets it back. Quite firmly, actually. But Mike Salmon finding John Humphrey with it. Come towards the half-time interval, the last minute of the first half. Leaburn, Humphrey, Nelson, now Walsh. Back once again to John Humphrey. Nelson. Waddock. Nelson was back at it. Walsh tries to take it up. Oldfield. And a free kick given Luton's way. Luton players saying we'd rather have an advantage being played there and we could have kept going. Well, they're going forward now with Trevor Peake to Scott Oakes. Try to nick that ball through to Dwight Marshall. The ball hit long by Bowyer, but there's nobody up there. Chapple. There's a half-time whistle. To be fair, not a great deal to stir the blood, except that Charlton Athletic went a goal up with Gary Nelson after an excellent ball through from Colin Walsh. Scott Oakes hitting the Charlton crossbar just after that. But at half-time, Gary Nelson's goal makes it Luton Town 0, Charlton Athletic 1.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Ray. Well, this isn't a particularly lucky ground for Charlton. They won here in January by a 0-0. It was their first victory in 13 visits. Charlton, the goals are good at the moment. After the break, I'll be chatting about some of the incidents in that first half with our guest, Gavin Peacock, the Chelsea club captain. Back in a couple of minutes.
Supporters of the Sunday match.
Welcome back to Kenilworth Road. Luton have a bit of a headache at the moment. They trail Charlton by that 0-0. Gavin Peacock, Charlton good value for the lead?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've played it well for the away side. They've been nice and solid, and they've hit Luton with a sucker punch, a great through ball and a terrific run, a good finish. But they've definitely looked solid at the back, particularly.
We've spoken a lot about the youngsters in the Charlton side, but the goal was all down to the experienced heads, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. They've got a blend of real experience there, and that's a terrific ball. From Walsh and onto Nelson's run there. He's timed it to perfection. He was nice and brave there, coming into contact with that goalkeeper. But again, we see it here.
I was going to say the goalkeeper, Ray Clements, was a bit critical of Feuer here. I mean, when a big 6'7" lad comes thundering out, as a striker, you're going to have an eye on him, aren't you?
That's right, yeah, you keep half an eye on the goalkeeper, but Nelson's watched the ball as well there, and he's nicked it over him, and it's a nice, easy goal in the end.
That's right.
The experience has come through for them there.
His book, which Brian Moore plugged to death, so he won't mention it again, but he described him as a journeyman. Yeah. But he's more than that, Gary Nelson, isn't he?
He's an excellent pro. In fact, they all are there. John Humphreys, Chapple and Walsh. And I think that they're bringing on the youngsters in the side.
Right. Luton will look at an effort from Scott Oakes, who Sheffield Wednesday tried to buy in the week. Right in front of us this was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was their best move of the game. Like a little ball down there. I think it was Oakes that actually played it down there. Started the move off. A good run from the lad Marshall there, and a little over from Oldfield, and Oakes has come in again. A little bit unlucky there because that was a terrific effort, but that's what they've got to do a little bit more of. They're getting in wide positions there, they're not getting the final ball. Yes, the arms were up behind the goal, and just to endorse what you said there, David Oldfield, who the fans obviously don't like particularly, there's a lovely dummy when it's played in there.
Yeah, terrific. That sets it all off there, and Oates is unlucky. They've got to capitalise, and they're getting in down Charlton's left quite a lot, and they've got to capitalise on that and put a good final ball in.
The Charlton keeper, Mick Salmon, was a bit fortunate there, but he used his brains here, didn't he?
That's right, he comes flying out, and you've got to be a bit careful in these situations that you don't do anything silly, and he looked like he was going to grab the ball, but he's used his body well. And he got in a good tackle. But you have to be careful in those situations as a goalkeeper, because you can easily get sent off.
Yes, I've been so many sent off this season.
Yeah.
I mean, the crowd behind the Luton fans let him know what they felt, but I thought he did pretty well in that situation.
Yeah, he sort of kept his head, because you can get a rush of blood in those circumstances sometimes.
OK, Gavin, thanks very much indeed. Well, after the break, we hope to be talking to a great old favourite here, to Mick Harford. I'll give you the other half times as well, but at the moment, it's Charlton a goal to the good. Hello again from the Sunday match, coming to you live from Kenilworth Road. Those at half-times, unchanged from the scores that Brian Moore gave you. Actually, Birmingham a goal up at Port Vale through Paul Tate, and the Blues will go third if they win there. And Norwich leading Tranmere by 1-0. That goal scored by Andy Johnson. Kevin, let's have a look at an aspect of Luton's play that you've picked up on. They've not done too badly in the middle phases, but the crossing has left a bit to be desired, to say the least.
They've got him behind a few times in wide positions, and here's a prime example where it just needs a good ball whipped across, and they might get a finish, but they haven't got that many men in the box looking at that. But that could cause Charlton a few problems in the second half. If they're to sort of buck their ideas up, they've got to bomb men in the box and get good crosses in.
You'd fancy an early charge from Luton in the second half, wouldn't you?
Definitely, and I think Charlton will have to soak it up. I think Rufus has been playing well in particular. I think he's kept hold of Marshall quite well, and he's got his head on quite a lot of good clearances as well. So he'll need to be at his best, I think, early on.
Absolutely. OK, thanks very much indeed. Now let's just go down to the tunnel area and talk to a fellow who's at Wimbledon now, as a huge favourite when he played at the club. Mick Harford, the old head waiter, the striker, and he's with Matt Lorenzo.
Mick, you've seen a lot of Luton this season. I bet you're wanting to be part of the team again, aren't you?
Well, difficult question, but I mean, they're just suffering a little bit. Yeah, there's not enough quality crosses going in. They're getting up there nicely, but it's in around the box where they're not creating anything.
Are they worth a 1-0 lead, Charlton, do you think?
Overall, I think it hasn't been a very good game. The keepers have been very, very quiet. They've hardly anything to do. I mean, they're getting down the sides a lot. I think Luton are unlucky not to be on level terms. Obviously, there's a quality of the crosses going in the box.
You're a Luton man through and through. You have a club here in the town. What effect is all the uncertainty over the future of this club having on everyone?
Obviously, it's unsettling for everyone, fans, players, everyone connected with the club. But I think the ship's been settled lately, and everyone's just got to get on with it and battle away. They're not in a very good position in the league, which doesn't help. I'm sure the spirit's still there, as you can see in the first half, and I'm sure they'll battle through it.
OK, your prediction then for the scoreline today?
I think, as I said earlier, if Luton get in around the box and get some final deliveries, and I think they can get a goal and maybe go on to win it. But it's going to be hard.
Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
Well, we're back in the commentary box with Ray Clements and me, Brian Moore. The substitute for Luton is the Norwegian Vidar Riseth, making his first appearance. 23 years old, one of the leading goal scorers actually in Norwegian football in all competitions last season. Just signed him for a reported £100,000. Well, if he comes off as a goal scorer for that money, that will be a considerable snip. It's Kerry Hughes who's gone off. He's getting a good welcome from the Luton faithful. It's a 6-footer. And some. Marshall comes to Scott Oakes. Charlton leading 1-0, remember. And Marshall, well, there's a real determination about Dwight Marshall and about Luton in these opening moments. Alexander gets the throw. It's Scott Oakes who's taken a little knock there. Peake finding Waddock. Looking for a more enterprising second half than we had for the first, particularly from Luton Town. Chapple holding up Johnson's charge there. Nelson making ground. Feuer, the goalkeeper for Luton Town. Gary Nelson's goal, 17 minutes, separates the sides. goes Chapple, wins it in the air. Newton. Shoving between Nelson and Johnson. But here's Davis being chased by a combination of Newton and Leaburn, and Charlton get it back again. Nice little turn there by Bowyer. Plays the ball, but he's played a little too firmly for Walsh. Good work again by Charlton, getting back, helping each other. That time it was Robson, the number 9, getting right back there to help Jamie Stuart. Charlton at the moment just finding trouble getting the ball out of their own half. A slightly more determined start to this second half from Luton Town.
Well, that's because Luton have pushed 3 players right up the field and brought David Oldfield out of the front to play in the middle of the field with Gary Waddock. They've got Oakes, and they've also got Riseth and obviously with Dwight Marshall up the front now, so it's making it a bit more difficult for Luton to get those quality balls into the middle of the field or into the front two they were doing so easily in the first half.
Throw to Luton on the far side. Graham Alexander will take it. Cut out by Robson. Nelson. Ooh, lovely little turn by Colin Walsh. Now onto that left foot of his towards Gary Nelson. Newton coming up on this side. Getting some support from Humphrey. Maybe won't need it. Curling it towards the far post. Leaburn's header glancing off for a goal kick. Very determined bit of play here by young Sean Newton. Gets it onto the left foot. No more than a glance though from Leaburn. Free kick to Charlton. Walsh will have it. Chapple's gone forward. Leaburn in there too.
To be fair to Luton, their back three, they've dealt quite well with Carl Leaburn because he is a handful for anybody. He's a big striker who's very strong in the air. But the back three at Luton have managed to jump well with him and not allowed him to direct headers exactly where he wants them to go.
Chapple gets it away. Johnson. Here's Peake. Marshall getting in behind them. That was an excellent challenge by Phil Chapple, and it concedes the corner. Again, Marshall showing a terrific amount of pace inside that penalty area, but as you can see, Chapple does really well there. Plays the ball, concedes the corner. Luton are going to take it. Richard Johnson, Richard Harvey with it. Plenty of activity around about that near post. But in the end, it beat them all, and Sean Newton has the simplest of tasks getting it away. Newton. Leaburn. Robson playing it in towards Bowyer. There's a chance here, surely, and it was a great chance for Gary Nelson. Well, both Bowyer and Nelson had chances there. Bowyer because he made a terrific run into the box. Nelson then had a better one. And still, Luton haven't got it away. But Charlton really at this moment will be saying, hey, we should have been 2 up at this point.
Well, certainly, it was a lovely move down the right-hand side. There we see the ball, and the keeper does well there. Really well. And there, really, Gary Nelson's got to be scoring with that one. But somehow they managed to lock it away.
Let's liven things up a bit. Certainly needed it. What have we got now? A throw for Charlton Athletic. Bouncing maybe a little awkwardly there for Gary Nelson. And he's a man who's approaching, believe it or not, 700 first-class games. Newton playing it in. Oh! fumble there by the keeper.
It just shows, though, doesn't it? It just shows that we've had two good crosses in there from the Charlton wide men, and it's caused problems to Luton, whereas when Luton have got in those positions, their crosses haven't been of that quality, and it's been relatively simple for Charlton to deal with them.
Also, with that opportunity a moment ago, it's the first time we've seen young Bowyer get into the box in the way that he can, because he's got this wonderful ability to arrive late and unsuspected into the box. It's the first time in this game that we've seen that from him.
And he was able to do that because Charlton put 3 or 4 good passing movements together, which gave Bowyer the time to break forward into the box, which, you know, they've not been able to do very often.
Rufus holds up Riseth. Seems a bit more spirit about this second half now. First half, by comparison, was very languid, but here's Walsh with Robson outside him. Support from Stuart. Inside for Bowyer. Picking up Stuart. He can get down the line and get across him. He's leaving it for Walsh to do that, curling a good one in towards Leaburn. And here come Luton Town with Scott Oakes. Newton chasing him. Support though from David Oldfield. And now to Riseth. Harvey with the cross. Stuart gets it away. The crowd shouted handball, but the referee could not have been standing more than 6 or 7 yards looking directly at young Jamie Stuart. Robson. Stuart again, up to Nelson. Chapple. Little chip towards Leaburn. Touchdown by him. Oh, Newton does well, dispossessing Harvey. And it just wouldn't fall either for Newton or the ricochet for Leaburn. Falcon against the Norwegian. And it'll be a free kick to Charlton Athletic. John Humphrey will take it. Chapple, good support from the midfield by Walsh, and it's going to be a throw to Charlton. Alexander. So it's a free kick. Alexander will take it. Marvin Johnson's up from the defence. So too is Steve Davis. How well will Charlton defend from this? Chapple's there, head and shoulders as usual above them all. Some good play here by Alexander. A nice little chip in and just over from Dwight Marshall. All of that down actually to Graham Alexander down by the byline.
He shows great determination. It's a good cross to the near post, and Dwight Marshall will be disappointed not to put that onto the target. He's free, he's got a good head on it. But there's bravery there from Graham Alexander. Could have got a cut head there, but steadies himself, picks out the near post, and really Dwight Marshall has got to try and hit the target with those.
Johnson gets it away. Chapple with the header for Charlton. Johnson again. Waddock. Marshall. Waddock. Here's Peake. Free kick given. Oakes behind it, Harvey behind it. Johnson's up from the defence, so too is big Steve Davis. Riseth in there too. And knocked wide by Marvin Johnson. Looking for a goal to celebrate his 27th birthday today. That's not coming there. Let's go and down to the touchline and pick up a line from Matt Lorenzo.
Thanks, Brian. Just a word on the substitution at half-time. Gary Hughes came on or came off because he wasn't feeling too well. He's still in the dressing room at the moment, but I understand he'll be back on the bench before too long. Of course, that allows Vidal Riseth his debut, and if the programme notes are to be believed, then he's going to be the best thing since Bobby Charlton. It remains to be seen. Back to you, Brian.
Thanks a lot, Matthew. Rufus getting it back to Mike Salmon. Bowyer. Now Stuart. Depending on other results, Port Vale or at Norwich, Charlton by winning can go up into the top 6. Still a touch by Riseth. She couldn't quite keep it up, and then their cause was helped a little bit by that collision between Humphrey and Rufus. Walsh. Nelson got a whack there, and Charlton get a free kick. Walsh up towards Chapple, missed it completely, goal kick. It's Cambridge United. Beaten by Waddock. It's not the first time this afternoon that Richard Harvey has slipped. Sean Newton. Nelson just keeps it in play. Marvin Johnson hits it back that way again. Harvey goes down. Well played again for Gary Nelson. That's an interesting cross and a good one, and the keeper gathers it well. Harvey. Oldfield chasing, and Rufus giving him very little room indeed. And that ball didn't go out. Riseth. Oldfield, can Dwight Marshall get there? Some terrific bit of goalkeeping there by Mike Salmon. That was as close, apart from the ball against the crossbar in the first half, certainly the closest that Luton have come to a goal this afternoon. I'll look at that again in a moment as Oldfield now tries to keep this move going. With Alexander on the right, but a throw to Luton. Davis. Gave that away there. And Marvin Johnson turning it back again for his skipper, Steve Davis. Marshall just getting a hold of it. Alexander pumping it into the middle. Keeper's ball. Good piece of keeping a moment ago though, Ray.
Yes, really quick off his line and brave. It all started with a shot here from David Oldfield, who drives it into the pack. They get a lucky rebound. Good touch there by Dwight Marshall. And there's where the keeper earns his corn. Brave as they come, going down where the feet are flying. Good block.
Meantime, it's Richard Harvey down the line. Riseth and Rufus tangled up there. And the upshot of it is corner. Okay, Chapple been masterful in that position. Bowyer showing good pace. Robinson wants the ball in the middle, but in the end Peake caught him, and Peake just putting it away into touch. Chapple. Stuart. Walsh. Long towards Robinson. Trevor Peake again there. Under this one. Walsh. Nelson. Robinson now to Walsh. It's Humphrey. Harvey's header. Picked up by Oakes. And goes Riseth. That's a good ball played by Oakes now. Alexander now needs a good cross. The long legs of Phil Chapple holding Luton Town up again. Nelson. Stuart a long ball there, hoping to find Leaburn. Davis to Harvey. Just for the moment by Humphrey, but here they come again. Davis with the shot. A poor effort. But for all that, they seem to have taken the initiative at the moment, Luton.
Well, right from the kickoff, they were so positive in the second half, and they've just got to keep that momentum going. They are doing it at the moment. And they're also now releasing Steve Davis from the back. He's been playing in the centre of the three defenders. And all of a sudden, in the second half, he's coming out with the ball. And it's giving them that extra man in the middle of the field. And that's where they've been able to take territorial advantage now. They've just got to keep this going and hope that they can nick this goal, and then anything could happen for them.
Here's the man they have to beat yet, Mike Salmon, 31-year-old Lancastrian keeper. Chandler have equalised at Norwich. Another goal for Ian Moore. 1-1 the score. Riseth. Alexander tries it against Dwight Marshall.
I'm not sure if Riseth's ball there was a cross or whether it was a pass, but it turned out into a very good opportunity and a great strike there by Alexander.
Here's Alexander again. Been useful down that flank. Riseth going for this one, didn't get a touch on it. Harvey now trying to bang it in, knocked away. Scott Oakes, no. That time it was Bowyer who got it away. But certainly in this second half, Luton have looked a different proposition, and at the moment are looking the more dangerous side. But Charlton still clinging 1-0 to the lead. Peake now. Into Davis, pushing men forward. Waddock into Marshall. And Davis well off the mark with that one. The last effort, Waddock in fact playing the ball in, Dwight Marshall teeing it up nicely for his captain, and just before that, as Luton really begin to bring the pressure to Charlton, the Norwegian missed it in the air, Riseth, and Harvey's shot is banged away, and Bowyer eventually got it finally clear for Charlton. Putting Chapple under pressure, and the goalkeeper too. And the goalkeeper's gone down, there's no foul, says the referee. But Mike Salmon puts the ball into touch, so that the Luton striker can get some treatment.
Well, here we see Dwight Marshall showing his pace there, and the keeper comes out. It's a 50-50 ball. I don't think there was any intent meant there by Mike Salmon. It's a sort of incident that happens now and again in football, thankfully not too often. 50-50 ball, both players going for that ball, and unfortunately Dwight Marshall comes off a little bit worse.
Yeah, I don't think the referee could have done anything else about it, could he?
No, he's got tremendous pace though, Dwight Marshall. He started 3 yards behind Phil Chapple there and then got in front of him.
Yeah.
But it was there for both the players to go for, and unfortunately these things happen. But let's hope that he's not too badly injured. I mean, the stretch is there, but that's the new rules of the game now.
That's the norm. How do you feel about this new ruling, Ray?
Well, it's supposed to speed the game up, but I have to say I think in quite a number of situations it actually doesn't. By the time the stretcher gets on, by the time you've got the people onto the stretcher and then got the stretcher off the field, I think you probably in a lot of cases could have treated the player and got the game going quicker.
Well, they certainly need him, a goal down, and he's the one who's got that little bit of pace, who might in these later stages just get behind the Charlton defenders. So big clearance from Mike Salmon on the head of Leaburn, who will miss kick by Waddock. Leaburn gets possession again. It's Walsh, lovely left foot of his again. Bowyer knocking it down, but the flag is up for an offside. And Dwight Marshall looking ready to come back on. It's with Harvey. Davis, Riseth. Nice little ball in half for Oakes. Now Oldfield, back again to Riseth. Came across from Norway for a practice game with Riseth and scored a hat-trick in the first half. Not a bad way to impress people. A corner, is that? No, referee thought for a moment a goal kick, but he's given a corner. So Luton looking to dredge something from this game now. In their position desperately close to the bottom, needing every possible point. And a goal down with about 20 minutes remaining. Here comes the corner. Nelson gets it away. Bowyer. And he hit it straight at Harvey and went behind then for the goal kick.
Well, again, Terry Wesley will be disappointed there. You can see him looking there that they've worked hard to get the corner, and then the delivery of the corner is very, very poor. And it's relatively easy for Charlton to clear it. And when you get these set-piece situations in the modern game, you've got to take good advantage of it.
Leaburn. Oh yeah. Oldfield went through the two challenges of Bowyer and Luton. Rufus gets it away. Nelson gets in. Now Walsh. He's doing a good job there, and that little hole is David Oldfield, but Bowyer then slides the ball back to goalkeeper Mike Salmon. No foul. Bowyer again with a header. Straight into Luton territory though. Mike Marshall. Jamie Stuart. Robson. Did he keep it in play? Yes, no he didn't. Here's Davis. Waddock. Peake. Alexander. Passing Waddock. Finding Marvin Johnson. Charlton have pulled everybody, almost everybody, anyway, back behind the ball. Waddock again. Should relish this sort of situation. He always was really a competitive player, Gary Waddock. There's a good little clearance there, and by Chapple first, by Rufus, and then by Chapple. Good combination of the centre backs there. Chapple winning that one way in the air. Oakes. Now Alexander. Luton fans wanted that ball to be pushed forward. Waddock. Peake has done just that, up to Marshall. Little touch by him. Waddock now. Alexander again. There's the cross by towards Riseth. There's his header, and it's a keeper's ball.
He's certainly made a difference to them since he's come on, hasn't he? You know, he gets up well there. Can't get any power in his header because Rufus has done well just jumping into him there. But certainly he's made a difference to the Luton side with his aggressive running up the front.
Throw. Touch by Nelson. Robinson. Nelson trying to get in again. Scored the only goal so far, Gary Nelson. Now John Humphrey. That's a great shot and a fine save as well. That's kept in play. Oh no, the linesman claims the ball had gone out of play. So it's going to be a corner. And Humphrey, for the first time in the whole game, coming forward. A real good drive and a good push away there by Ian Feuer. So here's the corner. Well, Leaburn's on the other side there. Charged down though by Davis. Was there first. There's not a lot that escapes him in the course of 90 minutes.
No, he's looked very, very impressive throughout the afternoon. Everything he's done, he's looked cool and calm about.
Alexander. Harvey struggling to keep this in play and fails to do so. Inside the last quarter of an hour. Looking it forward towards Leaburn. Back to Humphrey. Deep cross. Davis nicking behind for the corner to Charlton. They stood up well against the Luton Town Storm for most of this half, now having a little bit of joy themselves. As Charlton win this corner, which Colin Walsh will take. Leaburn couldn't get on the end of it. Chapple with a shot. Not sure that it wasn't Leaburn that charged that down. Davis. Humphrey. Marshall. flag up from offside against, I would think, probably Carl Leaburn in the centre areas. Davis. A bit of space here now for David Oldfield. Robinson. Operating well down this right flank. Got some support from Newton. Here's Sean Newton. Ricochet to Robinson. It's Rufus. And now Chapple. Trying to hold off Marshall, and in the end taking the safe way out. Foul by Leaburn on Marvin Johnson. Free kick to Luton. Harvey with the kick. To Riseth. Rufus winning it in the air. Harvey again. Riseth playing it in. Robinson again. Now Leaburn with those long legs trying to find Robinson. Stuart playing it down the line, but I don't think Gary Nelson will get that one.
Your attention please, in the interests of your safety and in conjunction with other exercises held this afternoon,
Robinson really struggling at the moment.
For use at the end of the game. Please leave the ground. Exit 3 is directed by your Stuart. These
Harvey.
exercises are for your safety. This is a message from the Kenilworth.
Finding Waddock.
Thank you for your cooperation.
And now Peake. Turned there by Steve Davis. Bowyer's after him, so's Leaburn. But he's released the ball here a bit too firmly for Richard Harvey. Charlton about to make a substitution, so Kim Grant is coming on. Gary Nelson coming off. Well, Gary Nelson has done his job, scored that crucial, all-important goal after 17 minutes. The fresh legs, the young Kim Grant come on instead. And well, they made a double substitution. Des Linton is on as a defender, and also the Bulgarian Guentchev. So a double substitution then for Luton Town as Linton gets the ball to Guentchev. I think it's Alexander and Waddock who've gone. In the meantime, it's Walsh for Charlton. Oldfield. Here's Newton. Oaks. Very deep there at the moment. Back it to Guentchev. And now Riseth. That's a corner.
Yes, they put Steve Davis up the front now as well. You know, he's been marauding out that back three all the second half. Now they've put him right up the front there and said, OK, spearhead the whole attack for us this last few minutes.
Well, we're inside the last 10 minutes. Ball is falling there. Phil Chapple among them. but Charlton get it away up to young Bowyer. And out of Leaburn, Grant is a quick front runner. Wanting the ball, it's Robson now, and now Humphrey. And a flag up for an offside against Bowyer. Humphrey, it's Rufus. From their 94 World Cup squad in America, ex-Ipswich Town. Peake's going in there. Certainly a much livelier performance by Luton in the second half. But now the break is on for Charlton. Grant being pursued by Oakes. He's got Robson there as well. Leaburn's gone up into the box, but straight to the keeper's arms. Guentchev. Played for Oldfield. Oh, you're tangling with him. Guentchev again. The cross coming in towards Riseth. His header is down. And a great header. A great shot, rather, from Oldfield, and a superb piece of goalkeeping. Once again by Mike Salmon. Hooked that superbly, did Oldfield. But now look at Oakes. Just wide. In fact, it must have flicked against the goalkeeper. The referee's given the corner. So two exceptional pieces of goalkeeping there by Mike Salmon.
You can see Mike there, can't you? Look at that. Just the finest of touches, but the save just previous for that really was a tremendous save.
Again, they get it away. It was Phil Chapple once more. There's a foul on Chapple. Robson will have to come back. As you say, the first save was an absolute beauty.
It was knocked down there by Riseth, and Oldfield couldn't hit it any better. It's at a reasonable height for a keeper to save it, but having said that, he's still got to show great reflexes to knock that away. Riseth climbs very well at the back post. Oldfield gets over it, and it's great reflexes there going to his left-hand side.
Well, he's brought up 2 or 3 excellent saves, none better than that one from David Oldfield then. And a free kick for Charlton Athletic. Oldfield. Shall ask you for the man of the match, Ray, in a couple of minutes' time. Kim Grant from a long way out. Not quite sure of his ground, I think, at the first, but dive was quite happy to see it go wide. Up goes Chapple. There's Leaburn. Delicate little touch and a good one. As Walsh now releases Grant. Could just be opportunities for Charlton. And Newton shot charged away by Feuer.
Yes, this is the problem that Luton have got. They're pushing forward, trying to get that equaliser, and just leaving themselves open to the old sucker blow, counter-attack, and Charlton have had 2 or 3 good opportunities here. It's a lovely ball there through to. Probably I would think there that Newton would be a little bit disappointed he didn't keep that shot low and would have caused Feuer more problems than he did actually.
Well, here's Newton again with 5 minutes of the game left. There's his cross, a deep one. Leaburn was advancing to that far post. It was important they got it away, and they have to Oldfield. And now to Linton. And now to Guentchev. Riseth supporting, but Bowyer got back there. It's a throw. Guentchev. On to the left foot. Right, for Charlton. Here's Leaburn. right, Marshall. Now Oakes. Luton looking for this last gasp equaliser now, but once again Charlton deny them with Jamie Stewart's header behind for the corner.
6,270, 6,270.
As Linton's gone forward. Guentchev's in there too. A good fist away. Good sensible goalkeeping there by Mike Salmon. There's a bonus for him too, because Robson picks it up on the far side. He's got Kim Grant through the middle, and he's got Leaburn streaking through the middle as well. Instead, gives it to Colin Walsh. Walsh then plays it down the line for him. To Charlton. Walsh with it. Luton fans say it should have been taken quicker. Colin Walsh, wily old pro, but not quite wily enough this time. I think he might well get a yellow card for time wasting. So the referee deciding, I think there's a booking, isn't it, for Colin Walsh. So throw then to Charlton. Now get on with it. Finds Robson. Walsh. Back for Walsh, played forward and behind. Tell us about the man of the match, Ray.
Well, I think there's been Scott Oakes, I thought, on the Luton side has done well for most of the game, and I think Phil Chappell's done well at the heart of the defence for Charlton as well. But I've gone for the young lad alongside him, Richard Rufus. You know, he's a very young lad, but he's got tremendous potential, and he's made such timely interceptions of the ball. He's won most of his headers. He's looked in control of every situation, and he's my man of the match.
I think that's an excellent choice. His coolness itself, even when the pressure's been at its fiercest, as it has been quite often in this second half. And Luton now looking to pile more onto Charlton, looking for this important equalising goal. And Marshall couldn't get on the end of that one. Who was the man who denied him? It was Richard Rufus again. Excellent marking. So a goal kick to Charlton Athletic. Time added on actually at the end of 90 minutes now. Nice little touch again. Robson, who's actually been very competitive and done some good work down both the flanks. Former Brighton and Hove Albion player. Ball out of play. Now it's a Charlton throw. Walsh with a header. Comes out as far as Bowyer. Leaburn, and now Bowyer. Chance for another one. But an excellent save by Feuer. Quieter game than usual, Bowyer, but he's already notched up 9 goals this season, and that looked almost certain that he was going to take it into double figures.
It's a lovely ball from Carl Leaburn, isn't it? He broke the offside trap, and he goes on his own there, and the big fellow, when he stands up like that, he is difficult to beat, and to be fair, it's a good save from the keeper, but Kim Grant was just to his right-hand side there, and he could have just rolled it to him, and Kim Grant would have just rolled it into the empty net. But Bowyer's got through in that position on a couple of occasions. You can see where he's got his goals from this year with those breaks from the middle of the field. Although it's not been one of his more outstanding games, he's played his part in what has been a very good Charlton performance.
King Grant offside, free kick to Luton Town. 2 minutes of time added on now. Feuer will aim to bang that ball. They've lost 1 or 2 goals, Charlton, in the last minutes of the games this season. But they're aiming not to do one now as Grant takes it forward again. Leaburn's up there with him. And so too is Newton. Newton, it deflected, it's a corner. And Charlton almost content with what they've got. They've got big Carl Leaburn at 6'3" up there. They decided to leave Chapple at the back, Rufus at the back. What we have, we hold. 3 precious points are just a few seconds away. Robson. And that corner again, and now the whistle has gone, and it is 3 valuable points for Charlton. It will send them shooting up the Ensley First Division table. They've got a good away record. In fact, they won the Yokohama Tyres away performance last year. They won't win it last month, rather. They won't win it this month, I would have thought, with this performance, because there have probably been better away performances in the Ensley. But for them, it was a valuable performance, and it was the goal by Gary Nelson after 17 minutes that decided the game. Charlton, as people keep saying, are one of the more impressive sides in the First Division. Well, they've helped to prove that today with another home game next week against Sunderland.
Attention, please.
Terry, if chances were worth points, you'd have had at least one tonight.
We thought so. You've got to take those opportunities, and in terms of passing the ball, we played random first half especially, lost away a bit second half, but we had opportunities, but that's been our story so far. We've had opportunities and haven't taken them. And that's through good play, not by bashing it, through good play, created opportunities, not taking them. They've had a break and scored, and we haven't been able to get back in the game.
OK, Alan, that was what you call a hard-earned victory.
Well, it's not the best we've played, and the result was more important to us today because we've been drawing games and playing well and drifted down the table. But today I think they fought for their lives, and in the end, you know, they was putting the pressure on us, but I think we broke away a couple of times second half, and it's their keeper what's made the saves. Perhaps we could have finished it off.
OK, Alan, Terry, thank you both for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Feel just a little bit sorry for Luton Town. Well, as usual, we have a very lively finale to our Sunday match. All the local goals from the 2nd and 3rd divisions, and the full 1st division picture as well, including the goals that have taken Millwall to the top of the table. Tune to FM if you're a Millwall fan. Fuchs and Malkin very much on the same frequency.
Right, next play.
Well, it'll stick in the craw of all you Palace fans, but Palace for Tranmere. Port Vale 1, Birmingham 2. Tate and Claridge put Birmingham 2 goals up there, and Andy Porter pulled one back for Port Vale. And that means Birmingham move up to 3rd place. Barry Fry's team up there. Charlton, their 3 points here, move them up to 8th in the table. And of course Millwall 3 points clear at the top. And at the bottom, well, Luton in 22nd place, 12 points from those 14 games. And Ronnie Whelan's Southend 15th. Right, Gavin Peacock has been sitting and waiting patiently. Give us your verdict on the game, first of all, Gavin.
Well, I think Charlton deserved to win this game. I think Luton came at them for quite a spell in the second half, and they had their chances, but the luck's not going for them. And Charlton rode it out, a couple of good saves from the goalkeeper, and they had some chances themselves and could have won the game by more.
A lot of know-how in the only goal, the game that got Charlton the 3 points and pushed them up the table. Yes,
and we've looked at this a couple of times already. It's a lovely through ball from Colin Walsh there, and the run is what it's all about. He's timed it well. A little bit of luck there, the keeper missing it, but he's kept his eye on it well.
That's right. The Charlton keeper must have been very near Ray Clemence's man of the match vote, Mick Salmon, I would think, and he pulled off one save. It looked exceptional to us. Ray thought it was a simple one, but
I thought it was
he's a harsh critic.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was a great save, especially at that stage of the game as well. A good knock
from Riseth, yeah.
Yeah, great knock back, and he struck it well. He's read it, and a good reflex save in the end.
OK, thanks, Gavin. Well, still to come, more goals, all the second and third division goals, plus Barnet's victory that, well, Ray Clements, our co-commentator, he came here with a broad grin on his face. See you in a couple of minutes. Failure, it's been shown once again here today.
Yeah, it is a fine line, Jim, and the two managers will be feeling totally opposite in those dressing rooms and probably reflecting on how the game could have gone either way. That's what makes the game so exciting, and everyone's got their opinions on it. But it's a fine line sometimes, and Luton have got to somehow turn their luck around. I think you make your own luck at times, and they've got to just keep going and playing probably the way they did in the second half, and it might turn for them.
We've had a glimpse of all our teams in the first division of the Ensley League. Have you got any thoughts about it? Do you think Millwall can carry on and go up?
Yeah, I think it's quite open. I think it's very close up the top there. I think Millwall, I think Charlton, I think they're capable of doing it. I think it's when you get the promotion that you have to have the money to spend, and I think that Brian Robson's proved that at Middlesbrough, where he's got up and then he's known he has to buy the big players to stay up there, and he's done very well with that.
That's right, that's of course what Palace didn't do last time.
Exactly, yeah.
OK, Gavin, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Let me point you towards a lot of football coming up on ITV. There are European nights, big European nights on Tuesday and Wednesday night here on ITV. The Sunday match next week is Charlton. Another look at Charlton. Terry Venables will be with us. Charlton against Peter Reid, Sunderland. They're having a good season, 2:30 next Sunday. And Ensley League Extra, well, Gabriel Clark has been burrowing away behind the scenes here at Luton, and there's a special feature on Luton Time with Gabriel Clark in Ensley League Extra, and that comes your way, at 12:40 tomorrow night. OK, we've heard a lot about the whiz kids at Charlton all season, about those young players. Lee Bowyer, what was he quoted at, £2.5 million today, but really their victory was down to the bus pass parade. Gavin, I've enjoyed your company. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Jim.
Get fit soon, won't you? Chelsea need you.
Will do.
OK, from the whole ITV team at Kenilworth Road. Bye-bye.